Hi, my name is Ryan Selby, and this is a class about the Fisher and Paykel Flexitrunk. This is a series of classes about proper placement of the Flexitrunk, and today we're going to talk about how to prevent and eliminate the pressure points or pressure sores most commonly associated with the Fisher and Paykel Flexitrunk. The four most common pressure sores that we see are pressure on the septum, a triangle shape around the nose, pressure on the bridge of the nose, and then a dot within the center of the head. So let's go ahead and take a look at the baby I have set up right here. Now, what we're going to discuss first off is going to be pressure on the septum, or a pressure sore on the septum of the baby. Right now, the way this is positioned is over time you will start to see septal pressure or breakdown on the septum, and there's two reasons that's causing that. Number one, if you take a look at the prongs themselves, they are shoved all the way up in the nose, whereby the prongs are touching the septum of the baby. This is typically caused by prongs either being too small or by the staff typically pushing in the interface all the way in. So what we're going to need to do is see if the prongs are the proper size so that we make sure that we maintain more of a gap. The other setup on this that's causing the pressure on the septum is if you look at the straps, they're running over the cheeks and the ears of the baby. Where we want these straps are down by the jawline and not over like this. So let's go ahead and adjust. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and take off the sizing straps like this. And make sure you open the sizing straps all the way up. And then we're going to go ahead and take out the prongs. The prongs I was using were the 40-30s, and when I look at my sizing guide right here, you'll see the 40-30s here. When I hold the 40-30s up to the nares of the baby, they are indeed too small. What we want to do is choose a size that is 100% occlusion, or as large as you possibly can go without stretching the skin, which turns out that by my measurement the baby was actually a 50-40. So it was two sizes too small. And if the prongs are a little bit difficult to get in, you probably chose the right prong size. Don't be afraid to use a little baby safe lubricant like sterile water or saline in order to get those in. But again, once they're in, they should maintain a 2 millimeter gap like so. I'm going to go ahead and take this back-to-back D-ring, click it in like that, and then click in the D-ring like that. Tighten the sizing straps, making sure I push the straps down to the jawline of the baby like this, and that does one of three things, or does all three things. What it does is when you bring this down to the jawline, it acts like a football helmet, so it keeps the bonnet from sliding up. It stays in place. Puts a little bit of pressure on the blue glide bar this direction, helping to maintain that space, and you don't have any pressure on the cheeks of the baby and the ears themselves. The next pressure point we're going to talk about is going to be the triangle shape that you see around the baby's nose. And that's always caused, of course, by a mask being too tight. So I'm finding that what is causing the mask being too tight is typically caused when the staff is used to, if they are swapping back and forth between prongs and mask, taking off the interface here and reattaching again. What you need to do is always take off the sizing strap first, like so, before removing the back-to-back D-ring. And there's a very important reason why. Because the prongs are half the size as the mask, or the mask is twice the size of the prongs. So if you've adjusted to the prongs, then it's not going to be the right size for the mask, and so you have to make sure you readjust for the mask. Take the mask, put it into the interface like this. Take the foam strip, remember these do come with foam strips, put it underneath, because the foam strip will provide the height you need in order to keep the Flexitrunk balanced with the baby's face. Taking the back-to-back D-ring, again, we're going to go ahead and attach like so, and attach like so. Tightening it, again, bring the straps down to the jawline, just as important as when you do it with the prongs, and adjust like that. Now, the mask should be totally puffed up, kind of like a marshmallow, and we have a perfectly sized mask to this particular baby. The third pressure point you will see potentially is pressure on the bridge of the nose itself. And it's been my experience that that is always caused when someone forgets to add the foam strip whenever they're using the mask or moving from the prongs to the mask. Fisher and Paykel recommends swapping back and forth between prongs and mask every 4 to 6 hours. So you will need these foam strips to go back and forth between the two interfaces. Finally, the last pressure point is on the center of the baby's forehead. That's caused by either tightening the strap over the Flexitrunk too tightly, or when we connect our interface to the circuit, we should always run the circuits through the side corner hole of an incubator and not through the center hole. This temperature probe located in here is very heavy, and those plastic little holders in the incubators have a tendency to kind of splay out a little bit whenever you put these circuits in, and over time they could start to drag down, thereby cantilevering here. So make sure you run the circuits through the side corner hole. I'm going to have discussed this in more detail in my next video, which focuses on the proper placement and positioning of the baby on the Flexitrunk. So that ends our video training class today about pressure sores with the Flexitrunk. Again, for more videos, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.